The final frontier. So vast. So mysterious. Waiting to be explored by our brave astronauts, heroes of the cosmos.
And is astronaut ice cream a real thing? And is astronaut ice cream a real thing?
We know that astronaut ice cream that you buy in the gift store, that powdery stuff, yeah, that's not real.
Wait, astronaut ice cream is a lie? This changes everything. What next? Space is a vacuum? Then why isn't it cleaning my room? What's that you say? NASA put a flag on the moon? I just checked, and there's nothing there. But what about astronauts? They wouldn't lie, right? Astronauts are peak humanity. Strong, smart, with maxed farming skill.
I'm a botanist.
And they're not even afraid of heights. Sure, NASA's had a few missteps, like when they forgot to convert feet to meters.
In science, we don't use the units that we use in our everyday lives. We use metric system units.
Unless you are NASA.
This mistake yeeted a $125 million spacecraft straight into Mars. Or how about when they accidentally taped over the original recording of the greatest achievement in human history?
It's one small step for man.
But nothing quite prepared us for the absolute mess that was astronaut Lisa Nowak. The year is 1981. NASA hasn't sent anyone to space since the Apollo program. Our story begins with Lisa Nowak, who graduated high school as co-valedictorian, where she led her math team to victory more times than you can count. Inspired by watching Apollo launches and idolizing astronauts like Sally Ride, the first American woman in space, Lisa sets her sights on the stars. She attends the U.S. Naval Academy. This is all pretty boring, blah, 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 blah. They read books like this for some reason.
I had a great time at the Naval Academy this week. That place is so neat.
She does meet her husband, Richard Nowak, there. This is like the only photo of him that exists on the internet. You'll understand why later. After graduating, Lisa becomes a naval flight officer, basically the goose to a pilot's maverick. NFOs handle weapon systems, navigation, and radar operations. By the 1990s, NASA was searching for the best of the best. Thousands of applicants flooded in, pilots, engineers, and even video game developers, all vying for a spot in the most elite astronaut class of the era. Lisa had the perfect resume. She was a standout student, a highly trained specialist in high-risk aviation and combat simulations. Kind of person you trust to represent NASA. Or at least that's what they thought. In 1998, Lisa was selected for NASA's Astronaut Corps and assigned as a mission specialist for STS-121 aboard Shuttle Discovery, a mission that wouldn't launch until 2006. Lisa and Stephanie Wilson were to be the mission specialists, trained in the operation of the various robotic arms of the shuttle and space station. The duo earned the nickname Robo-Chicks by Mission Control. In January of 2004, Lisa joined fellow astronauts, including William Oefelein, aka Billy O, for an 11-day cold weather survival training course in Canada.
Damn, it's cold.
My core temperature is approaching critical lows.
Lisa, we have to keep warm. It's basic survival strategy.
I read about this in my astronaut training manual. It's called thermal docking.
Lisa, are you suggesting?
For the mission, Billy. Strictly for the mission.
After returning to Houston, Lisa and Billy began an affair. To help maintain secrecy, Billy gave Lisa a second cell phone to communicate with. A year later, Billy O's wife filed for divorce after she found out about Lisa. Billy O pressured Lisa to leave her husband. You see, now that he was divorced, he didn't like that she continued on with her double life. Lisa carried on normal, attending mass every Sunday morning with her husband Rich, sitting in the second row with her 3 children. Billy O moved into a small apartment and gave Lisa a key. She quickly became a familiar presence among the other residents. It's July 4th, 2006. Lisa Nowak and 6 fellow astronauts were strapped into their seats, engines roaring beneath them. In a deafening eruption of fire and fury, they blasted into space. But something was wrong. An email arrived from NASA.
This is not a drill.
Mission Control had observed debris falling from the external tank during liftoff, the same issue that had doomed Space Shuttle Columbia. That disaster had ended in tragedy. A piece of foam, seemingly harmless, had struck Columbia's left wing, silently compromising the heat shield. Upon re-entry, the shuttle disintegrated.
Astronauts' families were by the runway in Florida, poised for a great reunion. Instead, this was the picture that we all saw, 16 minutes from home.
7 astronauts were lost, including Lisa's close friend, Laurel Clark. Now, history threatened to repeat itself. The crew sprang into action. Together, Lisa and Stephanie operated the robotic arm, carefully scanning every inch of the shuttle's vulnerable exterior. The stakes could not have been higher. Using digital and video cameras, laser scanning, and the best technology NASA had to offer, she scrutinized the wingtips, the nose, the underside. Nothing could be overlooked. And then, an anomaly. A white spot on the nose of the shuttle. Engineers back on Earth analyzed the images with the intensity of surgeons defusing a bomb. Was it a crack? A breach? Their brows furrowed. Every pixel of every image was examined. Failure was not an option. Hours passed. Tension built. The lives of the crew hung in the balance. Finally, the answer came. It was bird poop. After 2 weeks, they returned safely to Earth, where Lisa resumed her duties as an astronaut, attending PR events, answering questions about space, and quietly maintaining an affair that would eventually spiral into tabloid infamy. Lisa was now one of the elite few who at dinner parties could casually drop,
"That reminds me of this one time. In space."
Lisa attends Wired Next Fest.
And the people who are showing them aren't booth babes. They're the actual PhDs and scientists.
And she has this booth where she answers questions and gives autographs. At the event, Lisa confronts NASA employee Beth Beck.
"There are no pens on the table for me to sign autographs."
Lisa scolds Beth and tells her she shouldn't have to hunt for them. So Beth reaches for the drawer, which is like right in front of Lisa. This is all very awkward, and Lisa steps in front of the drawer, blocking Beth's access. Beth's like, "WTF?" and goes to another astronaut's drawer, pulls out a pen and hands it to Lisa. Later, an event coordinator needs to retrieve her purse. She approaches Lisa. "Excuse me, my purse is in the drawer next to you." Lisa moves, blocking the woman from getting to the drawer to retrieve the purse. So this woman had to wait around until Lisa was done before she was able to get her purse to go home. But as Lisa's post-flight PR campaign wound down, Billy was getting ready for his trip to space. NASA threw a party for the shuttle mission crew that Billy O was assigned to, and at the event, he met Colleen Shipman, a U.S. Air Force captain working in space operations. When Billy and Colleen met, the love triangle began. Colleen even flew out to Houston to visit Billy before he went into quarantine before his space flight in December of 2006. During that visit, Billy told Colleen about his relationship with Lisa Nowak, but he lied to her, telling her the relationship was over.
Colleen is stressful for me because I like her. Colleen is gorgeous and I would definitely date her, but I've said yes
to Lisa
and I've said
yes to
Colleen, and I have to trust and respect my gut with that because I did that for a reason.
Look at that. What does that look like?
As a gesture of commitment, Billy promised to carry a charm from one of Colleen's bracelets into space. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Johnson Space Center, Mark Kelly, the pilot of Space Shuttle Discovery, or was it Scott Kelly? They're twins. How did I not know this? Well, anyway, he told Lisa they had a medical vacancy that needed to be filled for the next shuttle mission, and they needed someone who could operate the robotic arms. Lisa thought to herself, hey, I know how to use the robotic arm. NASA had reviewed their options and made their decision. Stephanie Wilson, not Lisa, would be returning to space. Lisa asked why she wasn't chosen, and Mark Kelly told her, Wilson is a team player and well-deserving. In a future interview, Mark Kelly would say that she exhibited bad expedition behavior because she was selfish and never went out of her way to help others. Other colleagues would describe Lisa as uncooperative, prickly, and not a team player. In late December, while Billy was in space, Colleen sends him an email with the subject line, I need a rubdown.
Will have to control myself when I see you. First urge will be to rip your clothes off, throw you on the ground and love the hell out of you. Am anxious to get you alone. But honestly, love, I want you to totally and thoroughly enjoy your hero's homecoming. So happy for you. I'll be here for you.
Lisa also left messages for Billy, but he just used the autocomplete to respond to every fifth message. After returning from their mission, Bill's Discovery crew held a special dinner while still in the crew quarantine facility. Each astronaut was allowed to invite one guest. Billy chose Colleen Shipman. Colleen had locked down the #1 spot with Billy for now, but Lisa wasn't going to back down that easily. She and Billy were training for an upcoming race together, and she'd left her bike at his apartment. Colleen noticed. Billy tells her,
she's still a good friend. She's happy for me that I've fallen in love and I'm happy.
Are you sure she's okay with this? Is there gonna be some crazy lady showing up at my door trying to kill me?
No, she's not like that. She's fine with it. She's happy for me.
In early January of 2007, Lisa and her husband, Rich Nowak, separated. When Lisa told her mother about the divorce, she was met with silence. Her mother stopped speaking to her altogether. Her dreams of returning to space were shattered. Her marriage had collapsed. The perfect image she had projected to the world was just a facade, and beneath it, her life was falling apart. And then came the final blow. Billy called.
I've met someone, he told her. I'm in love, it's serious, and I want to pursue an exclusive relationship with Colleen.
Lisa took it well at first, but then the cracks started to show. She lost weight, dropping to a measly 107 pounds. Her emotions spiraled. Her driving became so erratic that Houston police stopped her 3 times.
Really?
Lisa brought her problems to work, hounding the event coordinator at NASA, demanding information on Billy's whereabouts. While Billy was in a meeting, Lisa uses her key to enter his apartment. She guesses Billy's password. She finds romantic emails Billy was sending to Colleen. But more importantly, she discovers Colleen's flight reservation. She grabs a USS Nimitz notepad off of Billy's desk and writes down the details. If she didn't do something fast, he was going to break up with her. Again. And like a trained combat aviator that she was, Lisa creates a 67-page document of plans and directions to intercept Colleen in Florida, complete with the latitude and longitude coordinates and detailed schematics of the airport and schedules for the shuttle runs from the terminal to the satellite parking lots.
Whoa, hold on there, partner. You think you're gonna get away with a musical segment using a guitar cover of an obscure 1997 anime song that's absolutely mind-blowingly perfect? Not on my watch. Although, you could just put it on Patreon if people want to see it. It's entirely possible. You should also post a Q&A explaining why you went from doing deep dive investigative journalism to haha videos. Okay, bye!
Now, back to the video. Lisa looked down at the photo from her hiking trip in Canada. She missed Billy. But before she could leave, she had to create an identity. And she came up with Linda. A cunning strategy of being 85% identical to her real name. No one would see this coming.
It's time to put on my disguise.
generic enough to avoid suspicion, yet forgettable enough that even Linda herself wouldn't recognize it. Lisa dreams of her new future with Billy. She schedules several dates with him, by which I mean mandatory work obligations. First a scuba training, and then a full day of flying with Billy in the T-38 the following week. She lied to the scheduling officer, convincing him that it was top priority to get the flight hours in, bumping other pilots and NFOs off the schedule. Lisa arranges some time off and hops in her husband's faded blue BMW. She first heads to Sports Authority, purchasing a steel hammer, a 4-inch knife, rope, and a CO2-powered BB gun. And let's not forget the pepper spray. Paying cash. Lisa had trash bags, gloves, and a disguise. She had thought of everything. She left her cell phone with its tracking device at home, and in its place she purchased a phone card. Now let's address the most famous part of this story. The diapers. On Lisa's 950-mile drive from Houston to Orlando, she didn't want to stop to use the bathroom, so she didn't. And while Lisa was en route, Colleen and Billy went to a club in Houston where they celebrated the birthday of a colleague. And when they got back to Billy's apartment, they had a few drinks, headed to the bedroom. Billy holds Colleen in his arms and accidentally calls her Lisa. Meanwhile, halfway to Orlando, Lisa pulls into a motel parking lot and checks in under her fake name, Linda Turner. She stood in front of the mirror and reflected on everything she had lost. The family she left behind in Houston, her marriage beyond reconciliation, and her dream to return to space, foiled by Stephanie Wilson, and her future with Billy, all because of Colleen. She knew what had to be done. The next morning, Colleen boards a flight to Florida. As Lisa heads to the Orlando International Airport, she ditches anything related to NASA, including her flight ring. Lisa arrives at the Orlando International Airport. She's wearing a hat, scarf, sunglasses, and a black wig. Lisa spots Colleen near the baggage claim. Problem is, Colleen's luggage didn't arrive. So she heads to the baggage counter and finds out her bag won't arrive until 3 a.m. Colleen gets a coffee and a snack at Starbucks.
Fratte mate and a freakity pinkity.
What the hell?
Security cameras catch Lisa changing into a trench coat. Colleen falls asleep in the Starbucks. Lisa stays nearby, stalking her every move and watching her sleep. Colleen finally gets her bag and heads to the shuttle pickup area. It's now 3:28 a.m. The airport shuttle arrives. Lisa follows her out the front door. Losing her hat in the process, she doesn't even attempt to pick it up. They board the shuttle together. Colleen tells the driver, Lot B. And when Colleen steps off the shuttle, she realizes she's in the wrong spot. She takes off towards Lot C and notices Lisa trailing her. Colleen picks up the pace, gets to her car. Lisa tries to enter the vehicle, but it was locked. Lisa then bangs on the glass, claiming to need help.
You know what I mean? I paid for this car, you stupid bitch, huh? Now you fucking laughing, you stupid bitch. Keep fucking playing with me. I'm not playing with you. I'll fuck you up. I know where the fuck you live. You stupid bitch, I'll fucking tell you.
Colleen cracks the window so she can hear. And Lisa maces Colleen. Wait, is that John Hamm and Natalie Portman? So they made this movie loosely based on this story called Lucy in the Sky. You've never heard of it because it's awful. One decision the writers made was to basically change everything about the story. For example, she uses bug spray against Billy O, played by John Hamm. They completely omit the diapers from the movie, and they create this new reality where Lisa's character comes across more reasonable. For example, the love triangle involves Stephanie Wilson, which didn't happen. They make Lisa's character less selfish. For example, she doesn't have children, she has a niece living with her. But they go to their way to show a scene where Billy O has children. But by far, the most unrealistic part of the whole movie is when Billy O kisses Lisa on the mouth after, well, I can't show the whole scene on YouTube, but you get it. But what it does get right is Lisa is arrested shortly after while hiding the evidence. I promise we'll get to what happened to Lisa, Billy, and Colleen, but I just want to quickly go over why I bring up the Hollywood portrayal of Lisa. It's because a lot of journalists and Hollywood types have tried to rationalize and explain why she acted the way she did. For example, Lisa didn't get rejected from future missions because she was so selfless, willing to risk her life, nearly drowning in a training simulation like the movie portrays. According to her colleagues, she was pretty selfish. But in my opinion, it's pretty simple. Lisa lost everything that mattered to her, and she broke. This was a big story in 2007.
Imagine wearing a diaper all day without changing it. Must have felt like one of Britney Spears' kids, you know?
People dressed up like Lisa for Halloween. But what happened after her arrest? Lisa was initially charged with attempted murder, and on the day after her arrest, NASA placed her on a 30-day leave. But the local police dropped the ball investigating the case. Police never asked Lisa to waive her Miranda rights, and she was questioned without an attorney present. So not only was her testimony thrown out, they were able to throw out evidence obtained, such as the items found in her car. And without her Dexter kill kit, it's hard to hit her with the more serious charges, like attempted kidnapping or murder. In March of 2007, NASA then terminates her mission role and returns her to the US Navy, effectively ending her astronaut career. And in June, despite her scandal, Lisa receives the NASA Spaceflight Medal for her Discovery mission. In March of 2008, the Navy removes her from active duty and demotes her from captain to commander. They later force her to retire with an other than honorable discharge. And in 2009, Lisa pleads guilty to misdemeanor battery and felony burglary of a car. She was sentenced to 1 year probation, 50 hours of community service, and a mandatory mental health evaluation and treatment. No jail time is imposed. As part of the deal, she was required to write a letter of apology to Colleen Shipman. Boy, would I love to get my hands on this letter, but the closest thing we have is what she said in court to Colleen.
I'm glad to have this opportunity to apologize to Miss Shipman in person.
Why don't you turn and face Miss Shipman when you do this?
I'm glad to have the opportunity to apologize to you, Miss Shipman, in person. I am sincerely sorry for causing fear and misunderstanding and all of the intense public exposure that you have suffered. I hope very much that we can all move forward from this with privacy and peace.
So that's the sad story of Lisa Nowak. Her and her ex-husband, Rich, have pretty much wiped themselves from public record. Lisa changed her name and has not given any interviews about the case. However, based on scattered reports, people think she lives in Texas. She reportedly works in the private sector, possibly in engineering or aeronautics, though details are scarce. She has made no public social media presence, and there have been no confirmed sightings or interviews since her trial. Colleen, on the other hand, married Billy O a few years later, and they currently live in Alaska. Billy was dismissed from NASA shortly after the scandal. Funny enough, he got married in an astronaut jumpsuit, which is an interesting choice given the circumstances. Colleen started writing and became a literary agent. However, her website gives off hobbyist vibes. She did do this interview with Tucker Carlson years ago unrelated to the NASA scandal. This is what I used to rotoscope out for the break-in scene. And that's about it. Oh yeah, thank you to my Patreons, at Mix, Jonathan W., Haley, Daniel, and Shevchenko. You guys are absolute legends. And if you like this style of video, stay tuned for the next one. Cheers.